it's more than derangement. Like I think there's a serious condition like above that you can go to, like a psychosis. And I think these people, I think another way to also probably point it out is that you have a combination of things because you kind of have this thing where they've been, I guess if you've been saying something for so long, eventually you do become to believe it. But also, it's kind of like when you're gambling, right? A lot of people, you start with $10, and then it's like, oh, if we put 10, put another 10. You get to a point where you might be like $1,000 in. It's
Yeah.
like, Jesus Christ, I am invested now.
Yeah.
And you get to a point where it's either sink or swim, fight or flight. And I think these people are just going to go down with the ship. I think they're too invested in it now.
We just got dropped offline and we're back up. So yeah.
Holy shit, that was offline for a whole minute.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that whole.
Like I said, I'm recording this anyway, so just keep going, and yeah, people are starting to realise that it's
Wow. Okay.
I'm actually checking to see if I got a strike because it seems to be going down a lot lately. People really don't like what we're having to say right now. Jesus Christ, this censorship. Is this the EU shit that's coming through? Like, what the hell is going on?
I don't know. I don't know. Something interesting was pointed out to me. Facebook went down 6 hours, and it was right before they passed the EU thing. From what I understand, it was actually only a day or so.
I've got no strikes or anything at the moment, so yeah. Part 1, part 2.
Can you even actually stream at this point? Like, is it back online?
Yeah, supposedly.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just say. I mean, they invested at a point where I don't think they can realistically start to backpedal. Because if they backpedal at this point, I think it'd be even worse, right? Because then not only would they lose, the people who are now going, well, damn it, you're wrong, because they lost half their ratings, but they'll lose the other half, because then they'll go, oh, what? Now you're just going to be shills, for Trump or something. So I think they may be at a point where they have to maintain it, just to maintain, like they're trapped by their audience, right? The remaining audience, they're trapped by it. It's similar to what happens with companies. They get trapped by their customers. They garner a core audience, and they can't just leave. They can't expand and grow, so they get trapped. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, I'm sort of more, to be honest, nothing personal, but I'm sort of more worried about what's happening with online at the moment. But yeah, I sort of know what you're saying. People get into this situation where they can't dig themselves out of the derangement syndrome. Yeah, but yeah. I was going to say tomorrow. Look, we might have a bit of an offline production meeting. I might try something tomorrow. Are you around tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might try something tomorrow. Let's see if it's my net or if it's the channel itself. I was going to say if you want to host the show or something, and maybe I can. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but
I'm more than happy to do that. Yeah.
Or if I just go out tomorrow and buy this mobile internet and just see if that makes any difference.
You know what I actually saw? I know it's a little off topic, but I actually saw something really cool. Optus is doing $80 a month, 500 gig on 4G.
Well, this is the thing, right? At the moment, right? How much internet would I use if I went through and did the stream for like 2 hours a day?
Not a lot. So when I do the streams, it's easy to calculate. It's really easy because you stream at a fixed value. You just do like say 3,000 or 4,000, whatever. You can literally just throw that into a calculator, and you'll just get a result.
So what do I look up bitrate calculator?
Yeah, you can put in like a total per hour, bitrate calculator, something like that. There's tons of calculators online, just for crazy things.
Bitrate calculation. But yeah, let's keep going anyway. We'll do that in the background. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, obviously with gutting this, like I say, I'm more worried about the fact that these people that used to work in the Obama administration seem to be very anti-American. That to me in itself is very, very concerning.
Yeah, it also actually just is an interesting thing, is that from my understanding, Obama was, I know this is conspiratorial, but it's just that he did seem very anti-American, like in general. Like he was all about raising everyone else and lowering America. You know, in a way, it's like, oh no, just he was hard on the socialism too, from my understanding. Yeah, like Obamacare, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it wouldn't surprise shouldn't surprise anybody. Better said that way. That you know, people who worked with him and in his campaign and in his administration would also support that. You know.
But anyway, let's keep going. Only black reporters allowed in Georgia mayoral race event. White reporters were denied entry, while at least 2 black reporters and the publisher of a local African American newspaper were allowed the inside, the Southern Morning News reported. So the organisation of a meeting to discuss the upcoming mayoral race in Georgia barred reporters from attending unless they were African American. The Wednesday meeting at a church in Savannah was held to try to unite the city's black community behind a single candidate for mayor in the November 5th election. Signed at the door said press only. Now you may think that we're talking about midterms or something like this. No, we're actually talking about news from today. Like this is released earlier today, sort of thing. So while white reporters were denied entry, while at least 2 black reporters at the publisher of the local African American newspaper were allowed inside. I have a bit of a problem with this.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that this is
racism.
Yeah. I would like to see someone challenge this in court, maybe. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's court, like a court could do anything. Maybe, I don't know. I guess if you sue for racism, but I mean, I don't know. I guess you'd have to have a judge who isn't a social justice warrior. Yeah, like a white reporter going and saying, "Look, these people were racist against me." It's like, well, yeah, true, but white people are they even a protected class? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's just getting ridiculous, and obviously in Australia too, Facebook has gone through, and something we covered yesterday is banning white nationalism and separatism, and people might sit there and think that sounds okay, we can ban that sort of stuff, but even now on Facebook it's going around saying that you cannot say it's okay to be white, because that ideology is in relation to the white shooting, or the shooting of the mosque over in New Zealand.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's retarded. Absolutely.
And now in Facebook you can get banned. Facebook and Instagram you'll get banned for posting that stuff.
Wow.
I just want to turn around. You
just said the term just then. Were you able to do that just then?
That's on YouTube, so it's different.
Okay.
And I'm using it in the context of news. But my question is to the guys in the alt-right. When are you planning on turning this around? You know, we like to hear the alt-right go on about, you know, like, oh, we're going to turn it around and everything like that. Okay, when are you going to start turning it around? When do we get to a point where we sit there and say, this is ridiculous. We are literally forfeiting all our rights. We are forfeiting all our beliefs. We are forfeiting all our control on a plan that you guys, and obviously I disagree with the plan, I'm just going to say that publicly, but for a plan that you guys suspect is going to turn the country around. We seem getting in a worse situation, and it doesn't seem to be ringing alarm bells with anybody. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
I might be phrasing this wrongly, but what I'm saying is, you guys know what I'm trying to say. I'm putting it badly, but I'm saying that they supposedly have this great plan. When is the turnaround point of this great plan happening? Because at the moment, all I see is country after country after country bringing in censory, authoritarian, losing control of everything. We're losing the control of freedom of speech. We're losing the control of the internet. We're losing the control of being able to own firearms, which we already don't have much of already. How much more worse is it supposed to get before this great big plan from the alt-right is supposed to kick off? Where is point zero where we say, okay, this plan is failing and we've just screwed our country. But regardless, I'm getting into a tirade again. Quebec to invoke notwithstanding clause character challenges of religious symbols and bans. Wow. The Quebec government will invoke a notwithstanding clause for its proposed law that will bar key principal employees for wearing Muslim headscarves and other symbols of religious observance, a move aimed at preempting charter challenges. The bill, scheduled to be tabled on Thursday, will prevent workers in a position of authority from wearing religious symbols on their job. It will affect teachers and principals in public schools, judges and police officers, as well as other principal employees who carry guns on the job, said pivotal sources were granted anonymity to discuss the legislation. So I don't know exactly what this is all saying. So, notwithstanding clause to prevent its proposed law that will bar key pivotal employees from wearing Muslim headscarves and other symbols of religious observance. The bill, scheduled to table on Thursday, will prevent workers in a position of authority from wearing religious symbols on the job. That sounds like it's a good thing, right?
It does, yeah.
Right.
That's actually sounds like a good thing, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want people in jobs wearing religious symbols, I suppose, right? Yeah, it's a KCL, we know, yeah. It kicked a whole bunch of people out. There was actually around 9 to 10 people watching, and YouTube decided to can the stream and restart a new one. Great, YouTube. Thanks a lot. Battling young Stuber here. But yeah, so it allows current employees to continue wearing religious symbols at work while imposing restrictions on new hires or those who change jobs, sources added. I don't know what to think about this. Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I actually would like it just to be I wouldn't mind these religious things that cover the whole face. Actually should just be banned like completely. I feel.
Pauline Hanson tried to bring that in.
I am aware. I think she failed though. Well, she did. Yeah.
She didn't have the support of anybody else to do it. Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right.
Which is all.
Yeah. Okay, so let's jump into the Pauline section. Australian anti-Muslim party caught in sting seeking NRA funding. Not exactly true, but we'll keep going. So, Al Jazeera trapped One Nation with fake gun rights lobby group. Party said cash would help win the balance of power in the Senate. So, Pauline Hanson's anti-immigration party has been filmed lobbying the National Rifle Association in the US for millions of dollars in funding, promising to help water down laws restricting gun ownership in Australia. That is a blatant lie. They never promised to water down the laws restricting gun ownership. That's not what they said at all. Al Jazeera set a fake lobby group called Gun Rights Australia and secretly filmed the meetings between the NRA officials and senior figures of the One Nation Party. In the tapes, the party officials asked for about $10 million, saying that money would be used to win enough seats in Australia's Senate to get the balance of power and influence government's decision making. The request is denied by the NRA official. So the NRA official never actually went through and accepted the money. Even Pauline Hanson has since turned around and said that if the money was taken, that she would not accept it itself. That she would reject the money, right? What they've done is... So what we're seeing at the moment is a very heavily edited section that is supposedly going through and showing these sort of results, right? We haven't seen the full thing. But what we do see is them lobbying the Koch brothers as well, which is where a lot of the money talk was happening, where the Koch brothers have gone through and have said that at the end of the day, you know, they were saying about giving this money and for lobbying. This is the interesting thing. Everything that Pauline Hanson did in this, whether you like with lobbying or not, was not illegal. At the time of this, Pauline Hanson was not breaking the law. Also, while we're at it and talking about it, is that while we're talking about this, is that other groups, the Greens, Labour, Liberals, and all One Nation, National, all these major parties rely on lobbying. The Greens Party has accepted money from Greenpeace and stuff like that to obviously push a Greenpeace deal, or to push this, you know, save the environment, save the whales, sort of all this sort of stuff from Greenpeace. The Liberals have received money from China right before subsequently Australia started sending all their money, all their manufacturing over to China. Some people are suggesting that could be suspicious. The Liberals received a whole bunch of money from China and subsequently then went through and started sending all our manufacturing to China. That's convenient. So look, lobbying is a thing. Whether you like it or not, what Pauline Hanson has done here is not illegal. Now, it also should be said that Pauline Hanson also signed a bill to saying that she was against, I think it was foreign investors lobbying and affecting the government. So she's actually gone on record actually supporting a bill to remove lobbying and that from Parliament. Now, that was obviously after this video was filmed. Also, we have Al Jazeera, which is that country, Qatar. It's a media outlet from Qatar who receives funding from Qatar, going through and setting up One Nation in a supposed sting, which I find is very convenient. We have a Muslim government trying to set up an anti-Muslim immigration party and releasing videotapes right before an election. That I find a little weird. It's like they might have been a little bit worried about what Pauline Hanson was going to win in the election. To be honest, I don't think this changes the needle on mainstream, on her supporters. I don't think her supporters are going to change the needle on who they vote for. I think they're still going to vote for her. A lot of us that support Pauline, and I do, full disclosure, don't believe the media. We don't believe that this tape is not heavily edited. Al Jazeera is not releasing the full tape, as far as I know, or they haven't. Not only that, but a lot of us support gun rights in Australia. So even if this legit is right, even if this is fully above the board and hasn't been heavily edited or whatever it may be, I don't really have a problem with her seeking out people who have a similar opinion to what she might already have. Now, she's fired guns in the past. There's been photos of her firing firearms and stuff like that. I don't think that she has cut her beliefs to go through and actually, make this deal sort of thing. I think this is a case of them saying, well, we believe this. The NRA is normally on our side. Maybe we can hit them up and see if we can get some money. But like she said, that all said, she's also admitted, that is all good and said. Obviously, it's great to say that. But this in itself is going to backfire on the Liberals, because the Liberals are now talking about putting One Nation last on their voting preferences. But we'll get to that in a sec. One Nation caught on hidden camera trying to secure funding from America's powerful gun lobby, sorry. A senior member of the Pauline Hanson One Nation has been caught trying to secure millions of dollars from the US pro-gun lobby, according to explosive report by Al Jazeera. Is this not foreign meddling in our election?
Yes. Yes.
Is this not something that we have spent 2.5 years, 3 years over in America investigating? That supposedly Trump is affected or was brought out by a foreign entity. Yet they literally have Al Jazeera, a Qatar publishment, going through and actually affecting Australian votes. You're going to tell me this hasn't affected votes in Australia?
I would say it has.
Yeah.
It was absolutely it has.
I don't think it's changed her core supporters. I think they will still vote for her. But I think that this, and I've spoken to a few people who have thought this is a lot worse than it really was. Like I say, look, regardless of whether you like lobbying or not, the fact of the matter is that it was legal. Every other major party who is trying to drag Pauline Hanson over this, that I know of, has done this in the past or accepted money up until this point.
Yeah, it's like the old saying. It's like the kettle calling, the pot calling the kettle black.
True. A lot of questions. Pauline Hanson's disturbing comments about the Port Arthur massacre, but what she actually said was that she was talking about over in America when she met this person, whatever it was, wherever she met them. She said that it would take someone got up in Parliament and said that it would take a massacre before Australia changes their gun laws. And this was literally weeks before the gun laws, before the Port Arthur massacre, and before the Australian gun laws were intervened or changed. Now, she's just simply saying this is what happened. Now, she has also said that you came here for my blood, you're not going to get it. Furious Pauline Hanson fires back at Al Jazeera, insists she doesn't believe that Port Arthur was a conspiracy, while declaring full Scott Morrison will lose the election, which I think he will. So basically what I want to talk about this is we have a foreign government, foreign publication, paid by a foreign government who has a direct difference of opinion regarding immigration. You're going to tell me that these people from Qatar aren't pro-immigration, having a direct difference of opinion regarding Pauline Hanson, setting her up in a sting with a highly edited videotape, claiming that she's been paid for, that she was seeking money from the American gun right lobby, which, okay, maybe, or the Koch brothers, which was also mentioned in the report. We haven't seen the full report. We haven't seen the full video. I'd like to see that. But even that, Greens, Labour, Liberals, these other major parties have all accepted money as well. Why are we only caring about One Nation? Why aren't we against the rest of them being lobbied as well? And this is where I have a problem. It is literally, like you said, the pot calling the kettle black. Ah, you accepted money from a lobbying group. Yes, well, guess what? So did you. Liberals accepted it from China when it came to offshore manufacturing. Greenpeace brought out the Greens when it comes to accepted money from the Greens, when it comes to their pushing an environmentalist agenda. You're going to tell me Labour hasn't accepted money from Qatar or these sort of Muslim countries to push a pro-Muslim agenda?
Yeah, don't forget that the Liberals get a lot of quid pro quo from Murdoch.
Yeah.
And Telstra.
Yeah. And to be honest, this will hurt Scott Morrison because I don't think he has the votes to win the election on his own. And I've just gone offline again. What the hell is up with this internet? I swear, it's worse today than it's ever been.
Yeah, I just saw it go offline too.
Yeah, but I don't think Scott Morrison...
You're back.
Yeah, I don't think Scott Morrison has the votes to win the election on his own.
No, and it's only in 2 months, isn't it? Because we just
May.
did the sorry.
Yeah, May. We just had the New South Wales election.
Yeah, the state elections. I think all the states did them. I would say.
No, only New South Wales did them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we've got the federal one, like the main one, in a couple months.
Yep.
And yeah, that's going to be interesting. And I didn't pay much attention, with the New South Wales one, but with the main one, I'm going to cast my vote very carefully, because that's the problem here in Australia. That you have to vote, otherwise you get a fine. Yeah, you can make excuses, but it's not going to work forever. And then the other thing is that if you just cast a blank vote or a faux vote, whatever they call it, they just end up averaging out the non-votes across like third parties or something, and it just creates chaos.
Yeah.
Like we had a few years back where the minor parties were all basically stalling the Senate or whatever, and it was just causing chaos because so many people were, and it shows people are very disillusioned in Australia now.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of this like faux voting, and it causes drama. It causes too much power to be balanced out across small parties, and it just deadlocks everything. And that's what our government have for the past, I think, 8 years has been a catastrophe. You know?
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, I think that they're trying to disarm Pauline Hanson and One Nation because they are worried that she might actually do well in this election.
She's getting more and more popular and doing better and better. I do. Yeah. They are getting a little bit afraid of her.
We literally just saw Mark Latham win the upper house seat in New South Wales, and and we literally I was watching the New South Wales election, they literally turned around and they asked about One Nation, and one of the other guys, and I wish I had clipped it, turned around and said, "We're not going to talk about One Nation. They're only running in lower house seats." Quote, and they're only running in 12, so they're not that much of a problem. Literally, then an hour later, Mark Latham wins an upper house seat. But didn't you just say they were only running in lower house? It's like,
fake news.
Yeah, it's like you're lying.
I like Mark Latham more than Pauline Hanson. So, but you have to vote One Nation to support Mark Latham, right?
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, look, I think Pauline is a step in the right direction. I don't think she's perfect. I think she has very big problems with expressing herself. I think she comes across as more stupid than she really is. I don't think she's that stupid. She was able to see this whole China influence situation before a lot of other people could. And she's seen this immigration issue with Islam more than other. So I think that at the end of the day, I think this will hurt. And look, she said Scott Morrison was labelled a fool for preferencing Labor ahead of her in the party.
Well, I mean, that's good. So maybe my vote helped to get Mark Latham up there on that seat then, because that's sort of the direction I went.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, I think this is a lot worse than I think this is a lot better than the media's trying to make it out to be. I really do think that they are trying to beat this up, just because at the end of the day, look, if you want to be against lobbying, fine, let's have that discussion. But let's not focus, and this is what I was talking about with the Democrat over in America. Let's not focus on one particular group lobbying. If you want to talk about lobbying as a whole. Not just, oh, this party lobbies, that's bad. Sure. But didn't you accept money as well, Liberals? Didn't you accept money as well, Green? Didn't you accept money as well, Labour?
Well, I believe they all do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's legal, so what's the issue?
Well, not anymore. It's not. They've changed the laws since.
Well, okay.
But at the time, it was
Okay,
legal.
so but you can't. Okay, but then you can't. Well, they can in the media because it's like there's this thing about media guilt versus law guilt these days. The media likes to make people guilty of crimes by just simply asserting that a crime was made, which we know that's just not how things work. And you look, if you change a law, you can't retroactively then like charge people for a crime.
Oh no, they're not trying to charge you for it. They're not trying to charge you for it or anything like that.
No, but they're trying to in the court of public opinion. They are.
Yeah, they're trying to drag her for it, and at the end of the day, they're guilty of doing the exact same thing that they tried to drag her for. So yeah, like I say, look, at the end of the day, I think this is a lot less than what they're trying to beat it up to. I think the media is trying to beat this up to go through and to sort of try and disarm her supporters because they are worried about the next election. Like I say, look, to be honest, I'm pro-gun rights. So I really don't have a problem with this anyway, to be honest. Even if this is all factual, even if this is all honest, she did break the law. I'm pro-gun rights. I do think the Port Arthur massacre was a little bit suspicious in the fact that we did have a politician making those claims literally months before we had the massacre. And I'm going to say it. And at the end of the day, you know, then all of a sudden we had a massacre and all of a sudden we had gun rights change. Oh boy, isn't that convenient? So, yeah I do think that's it. I do think that was a little weird that they get up and they make that statement. And the media likes to make her out to be crazy to ask that. But I imagine if you sat there and you said to most people, did you see a politician say this months before the Port Arthur massacre, and then we had the Port Arthur massacre, and then we had the gun rights change? Do you think that is suspicious? The majority of people are going to say yes. Yes, that is suspicious. It's not proof, it's not credible evidence or anything like that, but I tell you what, it's goddamn conspicuous. It really is.
Yeah. And I agree with you, and absolutely. You know, and the thing is that it's like history repeating itself. You know, there's been another, you know, big shooting, and again, you know, there was things said prior to that, and there are agendas playing out afterwards. It just happens over and over. It's like these things are almost as if they are designed to cause changes that we would otherwise not support.
We've got breaking news regarding a fire in Sydney aircraft control tower. Do you want to talk about that? Since I'm not working tonight, and we can go for a little bit longer.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right. I'll wait for that to load up. Shit. We just also got news regarding Kim Fox as well, but we've already sort of talked about that already. We might talk about that maybe tomorrow. But yeah, Sydney Airport chaos, nothing going in or out. Planes have been diverted away from Sydney Airport and hundreds of passengers are stuck on tarmac after an issue in the control tower. Sydney Airport has come to a standstill after smoke was detected inside the aircraft control tower. All aircraft control towers have been evacuated around 11:40 a.m. and firefighters from Air Services Australia and New South Wales Fire and Rescue are on the scene. In an Air Service Australia spokeswoman told news.com.au, a full ground stop was initially put in place. No aircraft are departing or arriving at this time. We'll update you as soon as we know more, the spokeswoman said. This is literally breaking 34 minutes ago, guys, so it's really recent news.
Jeez.
Yeah. Looks like it might be just a standard fire. They're saying a malfunctioning battery pack attached to the tower's computer system has started to smoke at 11:40 a.m.
Damn those lithium-ion batteries.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know how that would... that seems a little weird to me. 20 people were evacuated from the building as fire and rescue used thermal imaging technology to find the source of the smoke.
You'll be surprised that those lithium-ion batteries, man, that you've got to look after them, and they have to be quality. Otherwise, this happens. Like, you know, might be a little bit. Sorry, I'm going to digress for a sec. I love them, and if I wish I had the confidence to put a lithium-ion battery in my UPS, because it would be so much better for runtime during a power failure. But I'm just not game enough to do it, because I really am so concerned that this thing it'll go up in flames, you know.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I don't know, an aircraft control tower with a lithium-ion battery in it. Seriously, guys?
Makes sense, because they want the power to survive or last longer. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got a backup supply battery and it starts smoking, don't you sort of? I've got UPSs around here and stuff like that. If one of them started smoking, I'd be like, yeah, okay, it's the UPS. Disconnect it, throw it outside. Hell, open the window, throw it out the fucking window.
It's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Because a lead acid, even a sealed lead acid, they have a valve. And if that thing starts to make pressure, it just vents.
Well, I was
and you know, they swell up.
Well, I was talking more about the fact that they had to use a thermal camera to find the source. Like, why they put this fucking UPS in the cupboard or something? Like,
Yeah, well, a lot of people do actually. It's probably why it failed.
Yeah,
in IT, I used to say to them, no, sorry, we are not going to put the UPS inside of the server cabinet. It has to sit outside of it to the side. And they would, jump up and complain and go, "It's an eyesore."
Don't put it inside the server cabinet.
Correct, unless it's a rack mount with fans in it, that's okay. But if it's just sitting there and it doesn't have fans, then no, it's not okay. However,
I'll be back, guys. Just need to change something in my server rack.
No. I'm talking about it when they have lithium-ion batteries.
Yeah, I'm just doing. Yeah.
If it's a sealed lead acid, it's okay. Just going to get a bit hotter, and it'll start to swell over time, and then it can become difficult to pull it out.
Yes.
So I would still say don't put it inside the server cabinet.
Yeah.
But is it really going to bother you? You specifically? Probably not.
Well, my UPS actually died.
Just grab a crowbar.
My UPS died, and I had to pull the battery out of that, and I was actually supposed to buy a new battery to replace it, and I forgot what the battery model is. I need to actually go and find a new one. But like I say, but at the end of the day, I have a UPS here for my technology, and that for in case power failure or something like that. Also, I use them because they were good for surge protection and stuff like that. So that's why I had them. But yeah. But anyway, guys, this has been the show. Enjoy part 1 and part 2. Don't ask me why it happened. It's YouTube. Seems to be that we have a lot of problems.
I wasn't streaming.
Yeah, I was going to say we seem to have a lot of problems staying online. It's just really weird like that, isn't it? But guys,
I normally don't have like the buffering or bandwidth issue. I get more like it's streaming perfectly fine, everything's going great, and then out of just nowhere, Windows goes beep bing, and I get the little Windows 10 notification bubble come up and just go offline. Like OBS literally says offline, reconnecting, and I'm just like, what? It hasn't happened in a while. Although now I get congestion issues at certain points of the day, which is just equally frustrating.
Yeah, see, this is the thing too. I don't know if mine's congestion or what's going on with mine. So, but anyway, guys, obviously, look, enjoy part 1, enjoy part 2. I'm going to put cue cards at the end of this videos to link them together, so you guys can obviously go through and check them out and watch them entirely. Also, I have recorded this whole video, so we can obviously go through and upload the full thing if we choose to, maybe in parts. It is an hour and a half recording, so yeah. But guys, apart from that, let me know what your thoughts are in any of the stories that we've talked about tonight. Let me know, what are your thoughts on Pauline Hanson? What are your thoughts on Jussie Smollett situation? What are your thoughts on the Schiff situation? Let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Obviously, guys, we will see you tomorrow. I'm going to talk to Satellite after this, as long as he's not busy.